Hey guys, Sam here. Hope you're doing really well today. In this training, we're just going to talk about trading locations. We're going to talk about the three types of trading locations where your food truck can go to make money. We're going to talk about how to go from knowing about the opportunity to securing it as a booking in our calendar. All right. And it's pretty different for the three different types of locations. So really critical to understand the differences between each and how to kind of segregate it in your mind as a different strategy for each. All right, so let's dive into it. So the first step in securing trading locations and booking it into your calendar is to look at what type of trading location you've got. So we're going to go into this framework here and break it down step by step. Here are your three options: permanent site, private catering, public events. Permanent sites being, like a roadside rest stop or a service station or something. Private catering is like weddings, corporate events, or stuff that is booked by people for you to go there privately. I think you get what I mean there. Public events is like markets, festivals, things where you apply to the event for it. So obviously, they're very different, all these three. And they're all very viable business opportunities. In every one of these, there's a multi-million-dollar food truck businesses doing just one of these. So the idea is you want to pick what really suits you, what you feel good about from the start. Don't try and think what is going to be the most lucrative, like that they all are. They've all got pros and cons. Public events are very high risk, high reward. Private events are much more consistent, lower risk, lower reward, but much more sustainable and steady if you want to grow a business steadily, close to home and that kind of thing. Public events really suit the adventurer and someone that wants to, take a little bit more risk. Like you definitely require a risk tolerance to be able to do public events. I've done public events for years and I much prefer them than private events. I've figured out what works for me and I've got good at taking that risk. So we're going to go through the three stages of how you're going to go from, as I said, knowing about it to booking it in. So firstly, you've got identifying the event. And this is the knowing about it. This is the going from you've never heard of the event before to now you know about it. The whole goal here is to find potential trading opportunities. Sounds stupid, simple, but it's really important that we segregate this step. All right, so the big difference between the types of trading locations, permanent sites and public events have something in common. You've got to go looking for them. Private catering, on the other hand, your clients have got to come searching for you. So the key, or the kicker here, is all the work that goes into finding permanent sites and public events is us searching Google Maps, socials, our network. And for private catering, you want to be able to be found through Google. You want to promote through images on Instagram, and you want to be referred by your network. So that's the key differences between these. And it's really important when you're trying to build a business that you understand this segregation and not expect it all to come flowing into your lap and you to just have this big scattered mess of, I could potentially go there, I could potentially go there, and to really order your database of events and opportunities so that you can be more organized and go after whatever you want to. All right. So next is the apply phase. So once we've identified it and we've found potential trading opportunities, we want to apply to the event. And this still stands, right? So you've got to apply to a permanent site and to public events. For a permanent site, you're going to make them an offer, send them an expression of interest, and then follow them up. Follow-up is so important, very underrated. If you do not follow up with events, private catering, prospects, public events, you dramatically decrease your chance of them selecting you, getting back to you, or in private catering case, which we'll get to in a sec, it's simply just marketing emails, reminding them if they've got a brother or someone that needs catering and they're getting marketing emails and their brother says, oh, I need catering at this event. Do you know anyone? Or they don't even need to say, do you know anyone? But if you're getting consistent marketing emails out there, you'll say, oh my God, I know this great Mexican food truck. They can come and do your event. So it's all about awareness. If you don't have stuff going out into the world, no one knows about you. No one's aware of anything. Follow up and emails, great for private catering. It doesn't cost you anything. And same with permanent sites and public events. If you send your expression of interest, say you want to cater out the front of a mechanic or something, and you send them an expression of interest, an offer of some sort, they're busy. They're not waiting to get back to you. They've got stuff to do. So following up politely and promptly, though, is really important. And in contrast, following up public events, it's really important that so with public events, if you apply for the event and say there's 200 other applicants, I've noticed a significant difference when I've been a little bit pushy, a bit salesman-like, and just sent an email, which you can automate, you can remind yourself to, just to follow them up and say, hey, just checking how this is going. We'd really love to cater at your event. We believe it'd be a great addition to it. Something along those lines. It goes a really long way. You need anything you can to stand out when you're applying to really good major events. All right, so with private catering, just lastly, they're going to land on your website, and you need to make them an offer of some sort. If they land on into your world online and you're not presenting them with anything, they're just going to leave. So you need to have some kind of thing to hook them, something like an exciting. There's so many options. You can have an exciting menu. They might go, oh wow, this is a really good deal, or oh wow, that looks so delicious, or wow, this coupon could be, I'll use that in the future. And then you get their email address and they go into your marketing world, that sort of thing. But you need an offer of some sort. This is in an ideal world. They'll just complete a form on your website, an inquiry form, go into your sales process. They book a call with you, you have a chat with them, and then we move to the next stage. Hope that all makes sense for the apply section, but it all comes down to engaging with these opportunities. So for the identify process, we're finding and actually identifying these opportunities, but for the application process, we're engaging with them. And we can't get from here to here without having a chat with them, expressions of interest, submitting applications. So then lastly, we come to the schedule stage, and this is where we're going to confirm the event in our calendar. And we're going to go through each of them just pretty quickly, but so we'll go through each of these. But for a permanent location, remember, we're reaching out to them. So they're the ones making the decision. All right, so this is the mechanic owner. They're going to compare. If they've got another offer, or if it's in a position of demand, or whatever it is, or a construction site or something, they're going to compare. They're going to compare their options, and they're going to get back to you. So you've got to give them every reason you can to pick you when they're comparing. Once they've compared, you'll pay a deposit to them, or they'll pay a deposit to you if you're really lucky. It's a construction site or something, and then you'll schedule it into your calendar. Same with public events. They're going to compare you. You'll confirm, pay a deposit, and we'll schedule the event. For private events, it depends how many leads we've got coming in, but we're going to compare other offers we've got. We're going to look at our calendar. We're going to have a chat with them. We're going to ask them for a deposit, and once we've got a deposit, we'll automatically schedule it into our calendar. So I hope that makes sense. This framework is very important for you to be able to get a grip on what locations you're going after, what stage you're at, rather than just this crazy applications everywhere, website, inquiries, stuff everywhere. It's too difficult as your business grows to be able to fathom all that in your head while you've got events running, and it's not the way to go. So once you've got this down in your mind, makes it a lot easier to move through the process and do it in a very organized fashion. So I'm only going to go over this pretty quickly because you can download the worksheet and check it out after. But these are basically the action steps you need to do. So we'll just look at a couple of them. But for example, private catering, corporate events, private parties and weddings. You want to capture the lead information or manually or through an inquiry form. And you want to add that contact to your database. So that's finding potential trading location opportunities. Once you've added them to your database, they're an opportunity. Does that make sense? Express interest, as we said, create a compelling offer, use it as a lead magnet, to a coupon or a voucher or something to capture their email address, and you want to nurture them continually. You're going to have a chat with them, and you send them into an email sequence that will eventually incentivize them to book again with you in the future, whether that's in a month or a year, whatever. If you can have 100 of those happening at the same time, you're definitely going to get more bookings. And lastly, after you chat with them, compare their options. As we discussed, they'll pay a deposit and private catering event is added to your calendar. This is more for your reference, so you can go through and set all this up for your business and you know what to do when. Hope that's all helpful so far, guys. So lastly, I just want to show you the private event engine. Now, the private event engine is something we've created to help accelerate this process. Like when you're going through the private catering process with Google SEO, socials, and your network to get events, and you're creating an offer, doing all this stuff. It can be quite a time-consuming and slow process, to be honest, if you're using socials and just relying on Google search. So the private event engine is basically something we've created to accelerate this, and everything is automated from your website to your email follow-up to your database, everything except for the conversations you'll have with them and when the deal is made. So it's all a little bit blurred out and secret there, but I hope you get the idea. If that sounds interesting to you, just shoot us a message or book a call with us below here. Hope you got some value from that. I'll see you in the next training. Bye-bye.